Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Deluxe Class Ripclaw. So this figure I got from TFCon this year and is going to be the first in a series of reviews during this coming week and intermittently for the following weeks of figures that I got from TFCon. Splitting it up with some of my Titans Return reviews to just give a little difference in what the reviews are like. I'm specifically starting with her because I got her off of Twitter, technically, from Headmaster Don, aka Don Ferguson. He was selling her along with a bunch of other figures. I saw she was at a good price, and I said, hey, I'd be willing to buy that from you. Can I pick it up when you're at TFCon? And he said sure, and she was the first figure I knew I was getting at TFCon that year. So I figured I'd start off with her. Also cool because she is also a female. And if I recall correctly, I have yet to review a female Transformers toy on this channel. It only took a month, people. But let's start by taking a close look at her dragon form, or her Predacon form, as she is a Predacon and has a nice black Prime Predacon logo right there on her head. Most of her body is in this nice green, including her head. Her eyes have a little bit of color to them, a little bit of the goldish kind of color that is intermittent about her body, along with a yellow forehead crest, which is nice, and the inside of her mouth is all red. Going down, you get some nice panel detailing, also some splooches of yellow. Throughout this figure, there are a lot of splooches of different colors, and you see it more right there. There's a little bit on the arms, and as far as I can tell, that is intentional, so it does look pretty nice. Even the wings, these nice red wings with all this paneling, have a little bit of the goldish brownish kind of splooshing, but on the wings it really looks brown. But that's there. Forelimbs, upper limbs appear to be the painted. No, hold on. I'm trying to figure out which is the molded greenish bluish color and which is the painted, because you can see that's a different shade from that, and that's a different shade from the head, and I think that's actually the paint and this is the molded. But anyway, you got the blue, the darker greener blue down there, you got the red, you got some red and gold there. Her claws are in a gold brown paint. Underneath you see her ribs and what will be the robot mode crotch. Coming to the legs, you get some nice panels. You get a nice bit of yellow right there. Reds and golds for the rest of the legs. And then coming back to the back, you see like a gold spine going down. You see that become a red spine. And you get this gold bit and going onto this tail. That ends in a giant claw gimmick. And speaking of the gimmick, let's look at it now. The main thing it does is you can open it and it's a claw. It's a claw. And that's all it really does. And if you press it though, you didn't see that because I had it off screen like a dummy. If you press down the centerpiece, it will latch down. So that's her gimmick. The Siphon claw, as the package comments. And now let's get onto some articulation. The head is able to open and close its mouth and is able to rotate a full 360, and the whole head is able to nod a bit as well. Nothing in the neck. Legs are on a ball joint. Forward legs are on a ball joint, able to bend a full 360. There's a swivel at this joint that allows it to rotate a full 360, and there is a hinge right there allowing it to bend at a 90-degree angle, and the feet are able to pivot that far down and that far up. Back legs, they're also on ball joints, and if And it's hard to tell. Hold on. Without panels being in the way, they'd be able to rotate a full 360. I'm pretty sure they are on ball joints a bit, so they can also like swivel a little bit. This knee, the kind of double jointed knee. So this joint's able to bend that far, and this joint is able to bend that far, and the back feet are also able to rotate and move about on that ball joint. Both of the wings are articulated. They're able to bend on this hinge that far down and that far up. And the siphon tail, the base of it is on this hinge that allows it to bend that far forward and that far back. But all the rest of it are individual pieces that are like on this like weird rubbery thing that allows it to stretch, but it will form back into a shape, but it can kind of hold some shapes, but not all the shapes because of the stretchiness. And actually, if you pull this down, you can see it really well right there, and it will get very floppy if the base of the tail isn't connected to this gold piece. But you can do things with it if you want. I guess you get different poses out of it. Certainly, like you can get a kind of a sideways pose, like going like that you really can't with it connected in, but you're not going to get anything all high up. I mean, like you can kind of, but you can get a bit lower if you do that. But anyway, and I also talked about the claw grab accessory that she comes with, which is detachable, but I'll show that once we get to the robot mode. But before we do that, let's look at some size comparisons. Here she is with Legends class Bumblebee, and you can see how that scales. Deluxe class Chrome Dome. And it's very weird to figure out like exactly how the beast formers scale with cars and trucks and stuff like that. But here she is with Megatron, Voyager class Megatron. You see that? And then you have Leader class 6-shot right there, and you can see how that kind of scales. So that's all there is to say on the beast form. So let's roll right along to the robot mode. And to start, we are going to move that up to get it out of the way of the legs for right now. So what's going to happen with the legs is we're going to straighten this out just a little bit so as you can see what's going on better. You're going to take this panel out, and you can see those two taller tabs went into those two slots right there, and this shorter tab will slot into that slot right there, connecting the thigh down like so. And in doing so, we'll rotate, just follow that piece, and this whole thing will rotate and collapse together, and then that will become the kneecap. And then that's the one leg. You repeat that on the other side. You straighten this out. You take this panel, you rotate it down, you tab it into place, and there you have another leg all done. That was quite simple. Now for the rest of it. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to get these forward legs out of the way, in a way, and then you're going to take this panel and fold it back, all the way back. And again, on the other side, fold that panel all the way back. Then what's going to happen is you're going to take the lower section and fold it down and connect it to the upper torso like that. I'm not sure exactly how that connects together solidly, but it feels like a solid connection. So that's that. And then for the arms, you're going to fold them down. You're going to fold this up. You're going to then pull the hand out of the claw like that. Then the claw has room to completely fold up into the forearm. And then you can rotate it. And then there you have your one robot arm. And you repeat that on the other side. Fold the hand down, flip the claw up, rotate, and there you have the second robot arm. And then you still got the dragon head to contend with. So what's going to happen is this is going to split. And as that splits, we're going to pull the head out of the neck and collapse this down upon the back like so. And then these pieces, they will fold out and then collapse over her arms like so. Fold out, collapse over arms like so. And then just readjust her head. And there you have Ripclaw in her robot mode. And I'm going to fold the tail down now so as I can get her to stand, because that tail is pretty back heavy. And certainly doesn't make her want to balance without it. But she is a very nice looking dragon. So let's take a closer look first at this very interesting head. It's kind of like a monster head almost. It's like the goblin or something. So it's painted in the metallic green. On top there's a bit of gray painted up there. The eyes appear to be painted red. It's very hard to see any of this. And then the mouth itself also has a painted red quality to it. If you can see it, I think this is the best I'm going to be able to get that to show. And you get a little bit of yellow sticking out on the sides now around this kind of collar she's got going on. You saw that chest piece in the dragon mode, but now you get a better look at the crotch and how it connects with these gray pieces, these gray painted pieces, and you see that detailing there. The legs, you saw most of all of this in the robot mode, and then the arms. The main new thing with the arms are the hands, and they are very clawy indeed, and molded in that gold plastic there. And then you just turn it around and you see she's got a giant tail and you got a giant dragon head sitting upon the back. And I was just trying to fold it around to see what else it could do, but that's pretty much all it can do. So it just sits right there. And then you've got the wings that sit here, and the back, just because dragon wings make a cool silhouette. Now, for her accessory, she is able to take it off her tail. So let me get that right now. This post just plugs in through that hole in the tail, and she's just got a short tail now. And then it can go into her hand, and you're able to do the same thing. You're able to open the claw, and then you can press it, and then it will collapse down upon you. But I do like the kind of dragon scorpion thing she's got going on here. Very interesting indeed. But we do have to go over the articulation for the robot mode, so let us do that. So for the head, it can bob up and down, and it gets barely, if any, side-to-side articulation just because of the shape of the head and how the collar works. Arms, they're able to rotate, but with these panels, it makes it very hard to really rotate them because the panels really don't go with the arms. They just kind of cover the arms, even though that looks like even though it looks like that could be like a solid piece. So the arms are arm ball joints, so they're able to rotate back and forward as far as they can until they bump into that shoulder panel. And they're able to go that far out. And then might as well talk about the panels because they're able to hinge, and then you just hinge them however you like. If you want to have them out, you want to have them in, you want to have them a bit more up, whatever. Lower arm is able to rotate on that hinge, and that hinge on the swivel, and then the hinge allows the arm to bend 90 degrees, and then the wrist, you can bend it in like so for some wrist articulation. Dragon legs, they're her robot mode legs, they're able to bend that far forward, that far back until she starts running into panel pieces, but her ball joints probably mean she could do a bit more. Out to the side, she can only go that far. Knees able to bend that far forward, and well, that far back, and then that far forward if you really want to, but that's more for the transformation. And then the feet are able to pivot and rotate because they are on a ball joint. And the tail has the same exact articulation as before, but you're not really going to get her into any poses except ones where the tail is sitting on the ground, which is a tad unfortunate because that would be a pretty cool silhouette to get her into. A pretty cool still image to get her into. But regardless, that's most of what to say on the robot mode. Now all that's left is for the robot mode size comparison. If my camera will focus. There we are. Here she is with Legends class Bumblebee. And you can see he comes up to about that gold panel with the Predacon symbol there. Here she is with Deluxe class Chrome Dome. And she does stand a bit shorter than the average of the Deluxe based on the head height, since her head, well, it depends upon if you count those spikes, but it's still certainly shorter than Chrome Dome by the head, but her shoulder panels and make up for it, and most of her mass is dedicated to wings and that tail, so that's understandable. Here she is with Voyager class Megatron, and you can see her head. Well, actually, I can't make a good size comparison in front because the tail keeps getting in the way. But you can kind of figure she does run around there a bit. Leader class 6-shot. And let's get them in a good view. And like most Deluxes, she is around that skirt panel there. Oops, almost knocked him over. And then, well, he just fell anyway. And here she is with the channel's mascots, Soundwave and Wheeljack. And you can see how she looks next to them. Stands. Okay, Soundwave does not want to stand off screen, and neither does Wheeljack apparently. But she is standing, mostly because of her giant tail. But for the most part, she is a very interesting toy. Very nice transformation. Very interesting details about her, especially like the weird paint scuffs and her dragon face and the like. Biggest issues I do have with this toy is how massive that tail is, because that is just sticking out and very hard to probably display upon your normal shelf, or very hard to at least figure it out. It's also with the wings, you could like mitigate that by having them out to the side, but then someone's getting bumped. But as a toy, it is quite fun. It is a cool dragon. It is a cool she-dragon. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Ripclaw. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All of the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack signing off.